we're going to use some props to start. We're going to start in a recline or the supported fish. So that's the one where we get a block and we run the block up the length of the spine and the base of the block sits in line with the bottom of the shoulder blades. We're coming back into this position to open up through the arms, but I was also experimenting. If you don't have a block, if you take a pair of shoes and put the soles of the shoes together, and you can bring that between the spine, and this is going to give you that enough support there to be able to roll back through the shoulders, and we'll start here, and then soles of the feet together and knees dropping open to the side. So this is just our starting position where we can start to tune in to the body, listening to how the body's feeling tonight, the breath. And I'll begin to introduce you to tonight's theme as we move through the fifth yama, which is Aparigraha. And I'm pretty sure if I haven't mentioned it in class, at least I've been thinking it that each time that I've worked through one of these yamas, I've had a little bit of self-study going on and thought to myself, yeah, that's one that I need to work on again, or I need to bring focus to this in my life. And I think that just highlights the fact that what we're doing is a yoga practice, and it's not yoga perfect. We hear that sometimes, right? That it's continual self-study, adjustments, and making those little refinements in our life, or maybe just focusing on different parts of the sutras or philosophy and just implementing that or seeing what changes we could make or accepting where we are. So Aparigraha is non-grasping, non-attachment. And this very first posture, the supported fish, is all about opening. We're starting to open through the thoracic spine, which is nice, especially if you've been sitting at a desk today or in any seated position where you could be, like start to hunch. We're opening up through the heart space and shoulders, and with the soles of the feet together, we're also starting to open up through the hips. We're hitting two spots in the body that work with our emotions. So our heart space, where we're feeling or we express the emotion, and our hips, where we store our emotions. And we'll continue to work with these two spaces throughout the class. And as we hold here for the next 5 or 6 breaths, just allowing each exhale to get a little heavier. And maybe the shoulders begin to melt back around whatever support you're using along your spine. Maybe the knees also get a little heavier and drop down towards the side for that. Hold for one more breath in. And exhale. The exit from fish, you start to roll over onto your right side, coming off the block. We'll move whatever prop that you had there under the spine to the side. And then we're rolling back onto our backs. We'll have the knees bent this time, soles of the feet pressing into the floor. And we'll start to awaken the rest of the spine with bridge. So as we inhale, we're going to tuck through the tailbone, start to roll up through each of the vertebrae all the way to the shoulders. And then as you begin to exhale, we start to roll all the way back down, one vertebrae at a time, until the hips come back down to the floor. On the inhale, tailbone tucks, rolling all the way up through the vertebrae to the shoulders. On the exhale, rolling all the way back down, hips flat to the floor. You might like to start to build your Ujjayi breath here as you inhale. That's slight constriction through your throat. Inhale moves from the abdomen to the lungs all the way up. As you exhale through your nose, all the way back down, hips to the floor. The next 4 repetitions, we can add the arms as you inhale, the hips and the hands all float up and overhead, moving in time with the breath. On the exhale, everything rolls back down and the palms of the hands come to sit down beside your hips. 3 more times, breath in. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. And one last round, inhale. Exhale. When the hands come back down by your side, arms opening up to either a T shape with the elbows in line with your shoulders, or we can take cactus arms, bringing the knees together. We'll take a twist over towards the left, exhale. Hold for a breath in, press shoulders back. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Breath in. Exhale. Knees back through center. Knees gently drawing in towards the chest, keeping the whole spine and sacrum flat to the mat. You might even like to work into a happy baby here, taking hold of the outside edges of the feet, lifting the soles of the feet to the sky while the back of the hips keep pressing down into the mat, and the knees begin to draw in beside your ribs or down towards your armpits. If you like to add a little rock from left to right, we can rock, massaging the back of the hips and the shoulders down into the mat. So from here, we're drawing the knees back to the chest. You have the option to rock and roll up and down your spine, or roll to your side and come into a 4-point kneeling. So we're taking the rock and roll, we're rocking all the way from the tailbone, all the way to the shoulders. Up, and back, up. We'll rock one more time. We're crossing the ankles, bringing the hands to the floor. We'll take the feet back, knees under the hips, hands directly below the shoulders. We'll take 4 rounds of cow and cat. Inhale. Extending through the spine, tailbone lifting high, heart shifts forward, looking forward. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, belly button draws in, chin to the chest. Inhale, scoop, extend through the spine, lift the heart forward. Exhale, tuck, round and arch. The next 2 rounds, you might like to tuck the toes, breath in. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. We'll inhale back to a neutral spine. With the toes tucked, begin to extend out through your legs. And we're pressing the downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal through the legs. This idea of non-attachment or non-possessiveness, I guess we can think about that in context to our expectations and how we perceive time. So in our yoga practice, in the sutras, we have a passage about Parinamavada, which is everything is in a constant state of flux. Well, the only guarantee in life is that everything will change. So that idea, or we even see that in our practice with our postures, every day our postures can change. And if we get too attached to how something should look or in the expectations of what we think should happen, then that starts to lead us down that path of disappointment or maybe regret. But these things are all based on our thoughts. So as we start to release our attachment from our thoughts, we start to see the ripples of the mind begin to mellow, and we can return to our breath. Inhale, nose. Just take a big sigh, open mouth. Breath in nose. Exhale, mouth. One more breath in. Exhale. Lifting the gaze towards your hands. Take small steps all the way through to the front of the mat into a ragdoll, a slight bend in the knees, dropping over the legs. You might let the hands hang heavy. You can also take hold of the elbows and bring a gentle sway from side to side, rocking the weight through the feet, finding that connection or your set of your foundation through the soles of the feet, pressing down through your mat into the earth beneath. Hands release. Belly button drawing in, rolling up slowly through each of your vertebrae as you rise into your mountain pose Tadasana. The head and shoulders lifting last. Take a big sweep through the shoulders, forward to the ears, squeezing all the way back and down the ribs. And now we're checking that the pelvis, navel, lower rib, draw into line and connect. Arms sweeping up and overhead, palms pressed, gazing to the thumbs. And then Uttanasana, exhale, folding over straight legs. Hold here for a breath in to press the floor away through the feet and lift the hot hips and the tailbone a little higher. And exhale, continue to draw forward. Breath in and exhale. Another breath in, exhale. Into your halfway lift and sliding up the shins, rolling through the shoulders, setting at Tadasana length through the upper body as you press the floor away, core is switched on. The hips shift a little bit further forward over the heels. And then we'll bring the hands down to the floor. We'll step the feet back one at a time into your high plank, pressing the floor away, flexing through the abdomen, trying to draw the toes through to the back of your wrists. Let's lower knees, chest and chin, down to the mat. Scoop and slide all the way through to your baby cobra, flattening the tops of the feet. The pelvis, belly button draws in, shoulders rolling back, looking forward. And then big toes together, knees wide. Press the hips back to the heels into your child's pose as you exhale. And then pressing through the hands, tucking the toes, extending legs, returning to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, right leg extends high to the sky, pressing out through the heel of the foot. Even weight through the hands, through your fingers, knuckles, and palms. Stepping the right foot through between the hands, exhale. And then sweeping the arms high to the sky into a high lunge. Hold here for the exhale, slide bend through the back knee, toe tips pressing to the mat, square and leveling through the hips. Engage through the core, roll the shoulders back, reach up through tips of fingers. Maybe taking a little pulse here through the legs for the next 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. Next inhale, reach up through tips of fingers. Arrowhead on the exhale, straighten through the back leg, opening through the heart squeeze, shoulder blades back, extend and reach out through the tips of the fingers. Hold here, breath in. Exhale. Both feet still firmly connected to the earth. Breath in. Exhale. And have one more breath in. And hold it. So the body stays in this position. Just the left arm extends towards the front of the room. The chest is currently facing forward, but we can add a little twist by turning the chest to open towards the right side of the mat. Breath in. Exhale. You might like to add a reverse here, reaching the left arm to the sky and the right arm reaches towards the back leg. Breath in. Exhale. Start to release. And opening to warrior 2, windmilling the arms all the way around, grounding the back foot. Nice wide stance through the legs. So our stance in warrior 2 is long enough to drop down deep into the lunge, but short enough that we can keep the activation through the feet, squeezing and pulling legs together. Centering the torso above the hips, reaching arms out at shoulder height. My favorite adjustment in warrior 2, keeping the palms of the hands facing down to the floor and just swiveling the biceps to the sky. Notice how that rotates through the shoulders, just draws the shoulders back. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior breath in. Holding here for the exhale, reach and lengthen all the way through the right side of the body. Windmilling the arms around to a low lunge twist. Left hand comes to the floor. Right arm sweeps to the sky. Toe tips of your back foot. So from here, wander the left hand a little bit further forward and to the side. Then give it a little external rotation or twist it down into the mat. Begin to swivel all the toes to point towards the right side of your mat. And then we lower the hips, draw them in towards the grounded hand, and reach the top arm towards your back foot. Roll the shoulders back. Hold here. Lots of length there through the left side of the body, all the way through the outside of the leg, up the ribs. Reach the right arm back overhead. And both hands coming to rest to the inside of your right foot. Left knee lowers to the mat. Tucking toes. We'll start to drop forward into our lizard. I'm going to modify lizard a little bit. So option if you'd like a little more padding under your left knee, you can fold the left side of the mat over. And that's just going to give it a little bit extra softness or support. We can drop onto the blade edge of the right foot, maybe bringing the hand here to the inner thigh, we have a little twist in our lizard. If you like to continue through to the quadricep stretch, then we're dropping the hips further forward. So we're rolling off the kneecap onto the top of the left thigh as we draw the foot in towards the glutes. Reach back for the foot, take hold of the foot, squeeze the shoulders back, draw belly button in, lifting your heart high to the sky. So remember our little theme here, other parts of the body we're opening. Here, opening through the heart, squeezing the shoulders back, opening through the hips as they drop forward and the right leg opens to the side. For a release the back foot, if you're taking hold of that line. Both hands back to the inside of the right foot. And then stepping through to your squatting position, Balasana, left foot to the outside of the left hand. Start to lower the hips down. So lots of ways to modify our squat. You can sit on some props. If the heels aren't grounding, you can lift yourself a little bit higher, bring the forearms to rest on the thighs. We start to work deeper into the squat. So where we have external rotation through the legs, we're squeezing through the glutes to draw the knees open a little wider, to lift the arches of the feet, and palms press together, elbows draw back. They also collect the knees and draw them apart, lifting and opening through the heart. Exhale, roll the hips. Breath in. Exhale. Take another full breath in. Hands release to the floor. Begin to straighten through the legs. Halfway lift as you heel the toes and feet together. Hands sliding up the shins. Folding forward, exhale. Rise to standing, sweep arms up and overhead. Palms pressed together, gaze to your thumbs. And then folding forward, Uttanasana, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And then lower forward into your Uttanasana, exhale, dropping over the legs. This time we bend into the knees. We drop hips back into Utkatasana, chair pose, arms sweep to the sky. Drawing the knees back just far enough till the toes are visible, and then we can make these little adjustments here, maybe tucking the tailbone, maybe throwing the belly button in, so we get a neutral lower back, squeezing the shoulders back, roll the chest open, reach high to the sky. Lower the hips a little deeper, reach up through tips of fingers. Exhale, hold, inhale, breath in. Holding forward over straight legs, exhale. Back into your halfway lift, lengthen. Hands ground, take the feet back into your high plank. This round, if you'd like a Chaturanga Dandasana, we can move into Chaturanga, or you can take your knees, chest, and chin. Lift and scoop into either your baby cobra or your upward facing dog as we open through the hips. And we keep open through the heart. We keep the hips active. So upward facing dog, we're lifting the thighs. Downward facing dog as we press all the way to the back of the mat. This time, left leg floats high to the sky, pressing out through the heel of the foot, toes pointing down. Left foot steps through between the hands, exhale. Firmly grounding through the feet, square and level the hips forward, then arms to the sky as you breathe in. We'll deepen a little more into the lunge. Activate through the whole body, roll the shoulders back. Let's take 2 breaths of our little pulses through the legs. So inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. Nice inhale to reach through fingertips. Arrowhead exhale, extend the back leg, reach the arms back, lift heart forward. Feet firmly pressing into the mat, everything still engaged. The body stays in the same shape, just the right arm reaching towards the front of the room. We can add a twist by opening the chest towards the left side. We can add a reverse, reaching the right hand to the sky and the left hand down the back leg. Inhale to return to the lunge. Sweep it all the way around. Exhale into your warrior two. Adjusting the legs, widening the stance to lower into warrior, squeezing them together. Let's stay in activation through the arms, just the biceps turning up. And then flip, reverse warrior breath in. Holding for exhale. Reach and lengthen. Low lunge twist, arms going to go all the way around. Right hand to the floor, left arm sweeps to the side. And start to twist the right hand down deeper into the mat, maybe even walking a little further forward. All the toes turn towards the left side of the mat. And then we bring the hips down in towards the right hand. The left arm reaches back. Roll shoulders back. And take that through to the lizard lunge. Both hands to the inside of left foot. Right knee lowers to the floor, toes on top. So first we make our little adjustments, bringing the hips forward, rolling through the shoulders, maybe that extra padding under the right knee. Dropping onto the outside edge of the left foot. Maybe the left hand comes to the inner thigh as we add a twist. We like to move into that quad stretch. We're bringing the hips forward to come onto big thigh of the right leg and reaching back for foot. Squeezing shoulders back, drawing belly button in. And we'll release the foot, hands to the floor. Stepping both feet through, returning to your sporting position in Malasana. And this time in Malasana, we'll add a twist. Bringing the right hand to the floor, pressing the tricep to your inner thigh, watching the left fingertips as they sweep up high to the sky. Reach and lengthen through the top arm. Squeezing belly button in, holding. Left hand comes to the floor. Tricep to inner thigh. Press and lift, follow the fingertips, reach the sky. And both hands coming down. So option one from here is to ground the hands into the floor, fingers spreading wide. We can rock the weight forward until the shoulders come over the fingertips and the weight comes into the hands, lifting the heels, and then using the fingers to press the heels back down to the back. So we can just rock forwards and backwards like this, just building a little more strength through the hands and wrists. Or the knees come all the way back to your triceps. So we bring the shoulders forward until the feet gently float up off the floor into our crow pose. And wherever you choose to go this evening, we'll hold there for 3 breaths. For 2. And for 1. We can step, jump, or float the feet to the back of the mat, moving through your vinyasa and meeting in downward facing dog, or perhaps coming down to child's pose. As we just take a moment here in a resting position, I'll read to you a little bit more about this evening's theme, or about Aparigraha. So to share a passage from Krishna, it says, "Let your concern be with action alone, and never with the fruits of action. Do not let the results of your actions be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction." So this is something we can play with or explore with our asana practice, our physical postures. Perhaps just seeing where you're attached to the result of an action, or perhaps a familiar feeling of a posture where you've been before, or maybe you're attached to that inaction. Maybe you're not taking yourself far enough or exploring your full potential. And see, what things tend to show up here on the mat is what's going to show up in our life as well. So there's that parallel where there's a very similar trend to what we're doing in our asana practice and then how we live the rest of our lives. So perhaps there's something to keep in mind as we prepare to move through our next sequence. We will meet back in downward facing dog. And from there, we'll look towards the hand. We'll step or jump towards the front of the mat. Taking a halfway lift, inhale, and folding forward on your exhale. Chair pose, knees bend, and arms sweeping to the sky. So adjusting our chair, knees drawing back, hips drop a little deeper, palms press and prayer rolls to the heart. Lifting the heart up towards your prayer, revolving chair. So a gentle twist in chair would be the left hand to the right knee, and the right hand comes to rest on the back of the sacrum. Deeper in the twist, palms press together. Triceps to the top of the right thigh, palms press together. Before we lift the gaze in the twist, glancing down at the knees and drawing the knees back in line with each other, and we're doing that at the hips, drawing the left hip back and pulling the right hip forward. Palms press, sternum lifts to prayer, gaze lift to the sky. To reflect a little bit on that theme or about being too attached to result, something I can really relate to. For a long time, I was definitely an approval junkie in every sense, where I mainly do things for the approval or the praise that I'd receive, so that reward or result at the end. And it was always quite disappointing when, say, you worked really hard on something and it wasn't recognized, or perhaps instead of recognizing what you had done, people had pointed out what you hadn't done. From here, we'll stay low in our chair, sliding the left leg to the back of the mat into a revolved high lunge. Here in our lunge, we can draw the belly button in a little more, lift the gaze a little higher, and moving deeper into your twist. And it's something that we can see in, as I mentioned, our physical practice, where perhaps we're moving into a posture, perhaps for that approval or recognition that someone might see and think, oh, wow, that's a really strong posture, or you've obviously been practicing for a long time. But how does it actually feel in our bodies? Option to open the arms, left hand reaching down, right arm extends to the sky. Making sure that any modification or expansion of a posture doesn't alter your flow of breath. Ujjayi continues to move through the body, arms pressed together, prayer lifts through heart, come up through center, and open into warrior two, exhale. From our warrior two, flip, reverse, breath in, holding for the exhale. This time, let's extend through the right leg and holding for the exhale. We're in a revolved or reversed Trikonasana. Press through the feet, squeeze the glutes, and both feet twisting down into the mat. Inhale up through center and reaching forward, Trikonasana. Right hand comes down to the shin, the floor, or maybe to a block, as the left arm extends up and overhead. We keep checking that rotation through the feet, pressing into the mat, and the glutes switching on. Length through the torso, reaching out through the fingertips, shoulders rolling back. Maybe you'll move a little deeper in your Trikonasana by reaching the left arm up and overhead, and the palm faces down towards the earth, extend out your fingertips. Might like to do that with the bottom hand, bringing both up. As long as your breath continues to move freely through the body, we're working with that balance of the effort and ease of a posture. Holding for the inhale. If the arms are spread towards the front of the room, let's open the back at shoulder height. Shifting the gaze down towards the front foot. A slight bend into your right knee through to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So we spot our drishti or our focal point, reaching the right hand forward, stacking the hips on top, extend through the leg, and reaching out through the arms. The more that we engage here through the standing leg and the glutes to stack the hips, the balance starts to get a little more ease, more length through the body, reaching up through tips of fingers, holding here, breathe in, exhale. One more breath in. Exhale both hands down to the floor. Let's take the left knee to the outside of the right foot into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half lord of the fish. We're moving into a twist here. The left knee can stay bent, or maybe you extend the left leg out towards the front of the room. For a gentle twist, we'll twist towards the left. For a deeper twist, we'll twist towards the right. So whichever direction you're twisting, that's the hand that grounds down on the mat, close to the sit bones. Press the floor away. Left arm or top arm reaching to the sky, lengthen. Belly button draws in, twisting to your chosen side. Take another breath in, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One more breath in. Exhale. So if you twist to your left side, holding as you are, we'll all join twisting to the left. First, the gaze returns to the front of the room. Then the body follows. Straight arms, chin down to the chest. We're taking our twist or half look of the fish all the way up into eagle pose, Garudasana. So it's a little funky transition, and I'll demonstrate, and then we can all join. And if the transition doesn't work, I'll just let you know which leg we'll have at the front. So from here, we keep walking the hands around the left, and the feet swivel until you're facing back at the front of the mat. And what you'll end up with is the right leg behind the left. So your left leg is on top. From here, we start to bend down into the knees. We can either keep the left toe tips touching to the floor, or we can wrap the left foot around the back of the right. And then we're sweeping the arms to the sky, just as we're entering Utkatasana, chair pose, only now the legs are in an eagle bind. Hips drawing back and low, cactus the arms, exhale. Breath and lengthen. Exhale, cactus arms. Breath in. Cactus arms. This time, arms reach out towards the sides of the room. And as we move into our Garudasana arms, option to, so there'll be the left arm under the right, either hands coming to shoulders, back to the hands pressed, or maybe the palms connect into your full Garudasana. Keep lowering hips as you reach the arms high, draw shoulders back. Focusing on that drishti, or one unmoving point. There's an option to stay here in eagle, or moving into Kundanyasana 1, a little arm balance. We'll get there by unraveling the arms. The left leg, which is over the top, the triceps come to the outside of that thigh. Hands to the floor, starting in like a twisted leg side curl. And if you'd like to move into the full balance, the arms, legs extend out. Holding as you are for 3 and 2. If the legs are open in Kundanyasana, bind. Bring the right foot back to the floor. Taking all the way up to standing. Arms sweeping overhead. Palms press. Left knee draws the chest. And then the heel squeezes towards the glute. Reaching the left hand back towards the left foot. Then start here, drawing the heel in towards the butt. Lengthen through the spine. Roll shoulders back. Here in Natarajasana, or dancer's pose, is where we can explore that balance between focusing too much on the end result or being too attached to that inaction. Inhale, lengthen, and then finding the balance here between the effort of kicking into the foot and the ease of leading forward. Hips stay squared, reaching out through fingertips. Full breath in, exhale. Inhale, hold. 2 more breaths. 1 more in. We can release the foot. We can fold forward over straight legs. Hands either come to the floor, or perhaps trigger grip bind the big toe with your index and middle finger. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, elbows flare to the side of the room as you start to draw yourself down into your forward fold. Releasing forward fold, halfway lift. Dropping forward, exhale. Knees bend, hips drop back, chair pose, arms sweep to the sky. Palms press, prayer lowers to heart. Lengthen. This time we're twisting over the left leg. So it's either right hand to the knee, left hand to the sacrum, or the palms right together, tricep to the top of the thigh. Before we lift the gaze, check the knees are in line. Do that at the hips. Draw the belly button in, drive palms, then maybe lifting the gaze. Start to deepen into the chair. Checking with your breath. Holding here. Knees stay nice and low in chair. Just the right foot slides to the back of the mat. High revolve lunge. Once you're in your lunge, belly button draws in a little more, lifting abdomen off your left thigh. Maybe extend and open through the arms. Arms come back to press together. Prayer through heart up through center. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, open and extend. Flip and reverse the warrior breath in. Holding, exhale. Extending left leg breath in. Holding, exhale. Press and drive feet down into the floor. Squeeze your glutes, lengthen up through center, all the way through to Trikonasana. Left hand to chin, floor or block, right arm to the sky. So once we're settled in our posture, we're scanned through the body, taking in all those points of engagement, the option to float the right hand overhead until the palm flattens parallel with the earth. Maybe the left hand joins, and reaching out through to the fingers. Legs switched on, core is engaged. Arms opening back up to shoulder height. Dropping or lowering the gaze for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Bending into the left knee, spot your drishti, reach the left hand forward, stack the hips up into your balance. Even here in Ardha Chandrasana, we can see that play or the balance between the inaction or the over attachment to the end posture. It's a practice that's forever changing, and we're always studying ourselves and our bodies and the changes that we are going through every day. Hold it for the breath in. Both hands coming to the floor, this time the right knee to the outside of the left foot. Lower the sit bones down, and we're in our twist to the second side. So a gentle twist is to rotate to the right, a deeper twist is to the left. Rounding through the back hand, reaching the top arm to the sky. Exhale, belly button draws in, and twist. Inhale, exhale. So if you're twisting to the right, staying as you are. If you'll twist to the left, return the gaze to the front of the room. Body follows, we're all over on the right side. And then from here, we transition into eagle pose. Walking the hands all the way around the right side of the mat until we come up, facing towards the front of the room. This time we have the left leg behind the right. We're bending into the knees, maybe bringing left toes to the back right toes to the back of the left calf, and then arms sweep to the sky. Exhale, cactus arms. Reach and lengthen through the arms, breath in. Cactus, exhale. Breath in. Cactus. Extend to the sides of the room. This time wrapping the right arm under the left. Hands either shoulders, backs of hands, or palms pressed. Arms start to lift up towards the sky, shoulders draw back, maybe taking your squat deeper through the legs. So we can hold here in Garudasana, Or we can take that to Vinyasa. One, unravel arms. So this time the right leg's on top, so the triceps come to the outside of the right butt. Hands to the floor, shoulders travel forward, creating the platform, forward legs to rest, maybe staying here in that twisted side curve, or maybe extending through the legs. We're holding 3, 2, and 1. If the legs are open, squeeze together, left foot to the floor, all the way up, arms sweeping to the sky, right knee to the chest, taking the heel back towards the glutes, right hand reaching back towards the right foot. Just take a moment to recenter, come back to your breath, left arm high, dancer's pose, Natarajasana, the balance between the effort of the right foot kicking into the hand and the ease of the body with the torso extending forward. Inhale and forward fold, releasing the right foot, bowing down over the legs. Second time through here, either grounding the hands, trigger grip your big toes, or bringing the hands under the feet until the toes come all the way up to the creases of your wrists, back to the hands pressing into the floor. Half lift lengthen, elbows draw to the side of the room, exhale. Releasing hands, halfway lift lengthen, hands ground. If you'd like to move through a final vinyasa, moving through or stepping your feet straight back into your downward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Extend the right leg high to the sky. And draw the right knee through towards the chest. Extend the right leg, or pressing the foot down between the hands. Into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Left knee lowers to the mat, toes on top, right leg extends. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, lean the bow forward, keeping the hips in line and the hips directly above your left knee. Inhale, hands walking back. So we transition through here into half pigeon, but we're going to turn the face towards the other side of the mat. So hands walking around the left side of your mat, and we'll swivel on the left knee until it comes through parallel with the back of the mat. Right knee lowers, hips squaring up, and then bowing forward as you exhale. So another part of the Aparigraha, or this non-attachment or non-grasping, the concept of actually taking the time to acknowledge the achievements that you've made or that you've accomplished, rather than just continually reaching for the next thing. And I feel like in a world that we're constantly bombarded with advertisements and things that we should have or that we should do, even with the constant inflow of movies or music, it always tends to be there's something new each week. We start to lose the concept of time because it's just something new to focus on all the time, every day. But when we take just a few moments out and check in with ourselves, whether that's through meditation or maybe just focusing on your breath, working with different pranayama. I bring up this example because it relates to a moment probably about 12 months ago when I was working on quite a big job here at home. And I had a mate that just kept messaging me at the end of each day, which was nice, to check up on how things were progressing. But the message would always end with a question of what's next. And after such a big day of work, and you're just exhausted and you just wanted to sit and enjoy the progress that you made, to then have that taken away and to then have to focus on the next thing, it's sort of, I guess in a sense, it makes you feel a little bit defeated. You don't always need to be so focused on what's next. It's nice to have some sort of goal or direction. It's just a reminder to slow down. Walk the hands back in. Tuck the right toes. Extend the left leg high to the sky to your three-legged dog. And then immediately bring the left foot back through between the hands. Right knee lowers to the mat. Toes on top. And in our half splits here on the second side. Toe tips drawing back. Hips are in line. Holding forward. Let's take this into our half pigeon, hands walking back. This time the hands walk around the right side of the mat. Just swivel on the right leg until the shin squares up and fold forward, exhale. And walking back, lowering down onto your right hip. Sweep the left leg through to the front of the mat. Soles of the feet pressing down, knees are bent. Reaching forward, belly button draws in. Rolling through each vertebrae nice and slowly. All the way down, shoulders to the floor. Feet and knees hip width distance apart. Heels close enough to brush with the fingertips. Belly button draws in. Rolling the hips up all the way back into our bridge. This time, let's walk the shoulders a little closer together, away from the ears. Hands can either rest down beside you, or fingers can interlace, palms squeeze, and arms press down into the floor. The gaze is directly up to the ceiling, or you might even start to drift the gaze back, to lift the chin away from the chest, but then the sternum is lifting up towards your chin. Notice how bridge here, again, returns to our opening through the hips and the heart space by driving the hips to the sky, supporting through the lower back by drawing the navel in and lifting and opening through the heart. Or release the hands if they're interlaced. Roll through each of the vertebrae. Hips to the floor. Feet walk as wide to the side of the mat. Knees drop in towards each other. You might be wondering the connection here between the Aparigraha and the emotional release that I've offered in tonight's class. And sometimes our attachments can be just that, an emotional anchor that's holding us in place. Sometimes until we get through or work through some of that self-reflection, we don't actually realize what's holding us back. Take a second around the bridge. Feet and knees walking back in, hip width distance, heels close enough to brush, belly button draws in, hips begin to rise all the way through each vertebrae to the shoulders. So if you like a supported bridge, you can use your block. You can also use the palms of the hand or the heel of the hand and bring them under the back of the sacrum. We'll hold this bridge for a little bit longer. There's an option here to move into a shoulder stand. So with the hands under the backs of the hips, you can draw one knee at a time in towards the chest. You need to find that sweet spot, the support, so the knees go in, legs can extend, and the hands switch on the hips. So remember, in your shoulder stand, the weight of the body is traveling through the backs of the arms and across the shoulders. So nice and light on the back of your head. If you're taking your shoulder stand, we'll return to bridge. You need to switch the hands so the fingers wrap around the side of the hips, knees to the chest, one at a time. Returns back to bridge. Press through the feet, lift the hips, remove hands and rolling all the way down till the hips come back down to the floor. And this time, feet as wide as the side of the mat, and a wind spring like the knees from left to right. And they keep rocking from left to right, with the sacrum pressing into the floor and slowly drawing in towards your chest. Nice and slow. Rocking out, massaging through the backs of the hips. Massaging the lower back. Once the knees draw in towards the chest, you might like to move back into happy baby. Take hold of the outside edges of the feet. Lifting them high to the sky, draw the knees to the outside of your ribs. Option there to rock from left to right. Let's move into our spinal twists, hugging the left knee towards the chest and extend your right leg out along on that. Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, belly button draws the spine, and we'll twist towards the right. Returning through center on your next inhale. Giving the knees a hug to the chest, exhale. This time, shoulders back, left leg extends, breath in, and then twisting to the left, exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, raise the chest. Inhale, extend, lengthen into your final resting shape, and maybe taking the next few moments if there's any final postures, adjustments, or movements you'd like to make. And as we start to settle back into Shavasana, or your chosen resting shape, it's a little recap of Aparigraha. So our non-greed, non-attachment, or non-possessiveness. So being attached or possessive of anything, I guess we need that reminder that everything is in a constant state of flux. Change is the only constant thing we can expect in life. So therefore, attaching ourselves to anything else isn't going to have the desired outcome. And that passage from Krishna, let your concern be with action alone, never with the fruits of the action. Do not let results of your action be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction. And then slowly bring awareness back to the ever-changing state of your breath. As you inhale, observing the journey of each breath through your nose, down through your throat, expanding and filling into the body. Allow that exhale to carry away all of the used carbon through the body, and a little bit of water vapor, and anything else that we do not need to hold on to. With the next inhale, small movements return to your fingers and toes. And as you exhale, the movement moves through your arms and legs and starts to travel up through the torso and the spine. And take a full body stretch with your next inhale, reaching arms up and overhead, extending through the legs, point through your toes. Open mouth, sigh and release, exhale. Knees drawing in towards your chest. Giving yourself a nice big squeeze and rocking from left to right. Eventually rolling down onto your right side. We'll take your time here from the fetal position to make your way up to any seated posture you would like to come into. Once you're comfortably seated, roll the shoulders back, lengthen through the spine, sweep the arms up and overhead until the palms press together. And then bringing your prayer to rest down at your heart space. And bowing forward as you lift your prayer, thumbs come to meet between your brow. And say to ourselves and each other, Namaste.